The most common reason that relationships end is because of a loss of attraction. And I want to add a disclaimer here. This goes equally for both men and women, but obviously inside our coaching program, we speak to women and we speak to hundreds upon hundreds of women every single day who reach out to us, who are interested in making their health and fitness a priority and making a change. And many of them are going through a divorce, recently single, going through a breakup. And that's when they decide to reach out. The unfortunate thing, and my point of making this video, is if you truly are with your person, you want the relationship to last, you should get started much sooner than later, because here's a trend and something that I notice quite often. And when you look at relationships, they often end because of a loss of attraction. You can call it falling out of love, or we just became friends, or whatever the case may be. And what I see oftentimes with these women that I speak to, where we get on the calls or they talk to my team or whatever the case may be, they'll say, I'm recently divorced. I want to get my best self back. I want to make this new chapter my best chapter. And, there's some sadness. They always, say, everything happened for a reason and such. But I can tell some of these women that we speak to, are really disappointed. They wanted that relationship to last, and they're not sure exactly what went wrong. And also to women that reach out to us have this thing that, my husband or my partner or my boyfriend was no longer attracted to me because I gained weight in this relationship. I gained 30 pounds. And I promise you that has a very small percentage of why your relationship didn't last. Very, very small. It's not that you gained 30 pounds that your husband was no longer attracted to you. It's the person that you became that gained the 30 pounds where they lost all attraction and viewed you more as a friend or a roommate, more or less. And then the flame went out. And what I mean by that is, maybe when you first were together, you were in great shape. You had goals, you had ambitions, you were taking care of yourself, you respected yourself, you ate right, you were active, you worked out. That was a big priority to you. And then, life, marriage, kids happen, and you get home from work at 6, 7 o'clock, you make dinner, and then you just sit on the couch wearing leggings or sweatpants, eating Cheetos, watching trashy rom-coms or reality TV on Netflix before you pass out. And then you wake up, you go to work, and just the cycle goes over and over and over and over again. And most people are not attracted to that. One of the most attractive things in somebody is to being goal oriented and having a growth mindset and always want to improve and get better and respecting yourself and making your health and fitness a priority. Those character traits, I think we all agree, are very, very, very attractive. And when you completely cut that out, that loss of attraction goes, or that attraction goes, because those things are no longer showing up. If you've allowed yourself to gain 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds in your relationship, you're not making your health and fitness a priority. And again, I want to emphasize, it's not that there's a loss of physical attraction. Again, we live in, we don't live in fairy tale land. Physical attraction is obviously an important part of a relationship. But a lot of women that I speak to, they think it was all, I gained 50 pounds. That's why my husband divorced me. And that's not the case. It isn't that you gain 50 pounds, you're the mother of his children and all this type of stuff. It's not that. It's the person that you became, right? You used to have, goals, and used to take care of yourself, and used to be active, and used to work out. And now you just become somebody who doesn't have the energy to get off the couch. And probably your personality changed as well, because you're very unhappy that you gained 50 pounds. So you're short-tempered, you're angry, you're unhappy. It takes you forever to get dressed, to go out. You don't want to go on date nights because you have no clothes to wear. You're less patient. You snap at your kids and husband. Those things just aren't attractive. And I know this is very brutally honest, but my point again is, so many women that reach out to us, they reach out too late. Sure, when they come into our program and they start to make their health and fitness a priority, and they build the sustainable habits and lifestyle to maintain it long term, it will serve them in that next relationship. But if they went back 6 months, a year, 5 years, even a decade, and made the changes back then, and if they truly wanted that relationship to work, I'm not saying that it would never come to a demise, but the likelihood of that relationship being successful to death do you part would have been much more likely if you continue to make yourself a priority. You know, and this is something that I see all the time. And so many women have a wake up call when they're served like divorce papers, or their boyfriend sits down with them or shoots them a text and say, hey, we have to have a talk. And sometimes it is for the best. But again, I see these women that we speak to who can tell they're pretty sad. They wanted that relationship to work. They're old school. They think marriage should be for forever. And really, when you peel back all these layers and such, oftentimes it is a loss of attraction. And these women create stories in their head that it's because I gained 50 pounds. And I see time and time again that it's not the 50 pounds that you gained. It's the person or the woman that you became that allowed herself to gain those 50 pounds. You stop setting goals. You stop making yourself a priority, which shows that you don't respect yourself. You lost your confidence. You lost your self-esteem. You're unhappy. You're grouchy. You don't want to go out and do anything. You have no energy. You're complaining all the time. Nothing fits. I can't wear this. That's not attractive. So what to do with this information is, regardless of relationships in life, things will take care of themselves. If it's meant to be, it will be, whatever the case may be. But recognize it's not that you gain the weight. Physical attraction, comes and goes. I don't think it's an important part of a relationship. Like, let's all be honest here. But it's not as big as a percentage as you might create that story in your head. It's the person that you became that allowed you to gain the 30, 40, 50 pounds in a relationship. The character traits that you went by the wayside or you no longer had in your life, that's where they lost the attraction. They lost the attraction first, and then you gained the weight. And then it was the double whammy. So again, and then here I am not picking on women, but obviously in our coaching program, that's who we work with. That's who we speak to. I've done thousands upon thousands of calls with recently single women going through a divorce or whatever the case may be. And this is equal on both sides, right? A lot of women leave men because, early in the relationship, they were great. They made, their health and fitness a priority. And then they, beer belly, they're stressed, their work. And then they, did the exact same thing that I talked about for the last few minutes here that women do. And the wife just loses attraction. Sometimes it's both people in the relationship, right? But don't wait. If you're in a relationship right now and you see that it's a little bit rocky and you've gained weight and you stop making yourself a priority and you feel like there might not be that spark or there's that loss of attraction that you had early on, do something about it sooner rather than later if you truly want this relationship to last. Because like I said, I've seen so many women come to us where they decide to take action. They decide to draw the line in the sand when it's far, far too late. That's the honest truth. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.